quality quarantine. He's doing quality quarantine, and he is asking to be in this live right now. So come on, who's coming?
Oh, hi. Hello.
Hey, what is
Good to see you
up?
there.
Hey there, how are you?
Good, man. Very good. It's not so hot. Yesterday was hot. Wait, what's the weather there?
It's raining right now.
Raining?
Yeah, it's raining right now.
Right? Your guys' seasons, our seasons are flipped in Australia.
Yeah, our seasons are flipped. So your summer is our winter.
Oh, that's right. So that's
Yeah.
right, because my pastors are Australian. They're always talking about like Christmas is like summer.
Yep, Christmas is summer.
Cool.
So we don't get a white Christmas. Instead, we go, when it's Christmas, we go to the beach.
That's awesome, dude. I gotta experience that kind of Christmas.
Oh man, it's hot. I'll tell you that it's hot. Like you'll see everyone in shorts and like 40 degrees Celsius heat. So that's like 113 degrees Fahrenheit.
Holy guacamole, 113 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, holy guacamole. It's pretty hot.
Yo.
Yeah, it's hot. Well, dude, I'm really, really excited and thankful you're on this because you know what? Quality quarantine, this whole idea that I had, it wouldn't have started if I didn't have a conversation with Doug talking about you.
Oh, cool.
You know, yeah, I was having a conversation with Doug. By the way, Doug Doppler, the person I'm talking about, is like one of my guitar heroes, and so happens to be now a friend of mine, a mentor of mine, and also someone who goes to church with Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't believe he goes to church with you, him and Melissa, which is awesome.
Dude.
Melissa's Australian as well.
Yeah, small world, bro. Tiny.
Very small world. Yeah, and we were talking about, just different ideas going into the year. And he was like, dude, you should interview Gabe one time and, talk about, music and life and maybe even gear if you wanted to. I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a thought. And then now with this whole coronavirus thing, now it's just like, all right, I think I better give that consideration, a go now. So
That's
here
awesome.
we are.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, this is really awesome. Just a side note, everyone, if you're wondering how I happened to get this interview with Gabe and Jeremy, we've actually met last year when I was in Nashville. I got to watch a wonderful show, an MPG show. If you guys haven't watched an MPG show, you guys need to watch it. It's like one of the most amazing shows you'll ever watch. So intimate and just soulful. It's ridiculous. These guys can like sing and write incredible songs so well. Oh my gosh.
Thanks,
like, you guys are incredible. So let's talk about quality quarantine, what it is. I just had the idea of, starting interviewing amazing musicians and talking about life and encouraging other people, both musically and even not musical, just about life in general. And, share some of your experiences and share some of your encouragement to people during this time of quarantine when people are looking for hope at a time where things are uncertain.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be really exciting. So the way it's going to work is we have a 30-minute time limit. And in a span of 30 minutes, or less or more, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and it's just going to be like a regular conversation, I guess.
Love it, dude. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, so I'm going to start off with a few icebreaker questions so we can get to know you a little bit more. So tell us your name and where you're from.
My name's Gabe Bondoc, and I am from the Bay Area of California, outside of Oakland, in a city called Walnut Creek. Although I grew up on the other side. I grew up in San Mateo, for anybody who knows the Bay Area pretty well.
So is that pretty much like Northern California?
Yes, Northern California. That's correct.
Nice. And tell us a little bit of what you do.
I'm a guitarist, singer, songwriter. I've been doing it professionally since probably 2009. And that's pretty much it. Just writing and playing and touring, and really I should be doing the YouTube thing, but I did that for a very long time, and I'm trying to get back into it after our little ones are finally kind of growing up now, so there's a little more freedom and time. But yeah, that's what I do.
That's so cool. What instruments do you play?
I play guitar, I play acoustic and electric, and I play bass enough to fill in at church, tiny bit of keys, enough to record, and then I just picked up drums, but it wasn't a great idea because our neighbor had a baby, so the drums are kind of packed away right now.
That's all right. You got MIDI drums, so that should work.
Yeah, seriously.
Um, who are some of your musical influences that have helped influence you in your music?
For me, from the very get, as far as like music that I chose on my own to listen to, John Mayer, and by extension, David Ryan Harris, because I discovered him pretty soon after I discovered John Mayer. Although that's not true, because I discovered David Ryan Harris first because it was 1990, gosh, I don't know, 1997 or 98 or something like that. And David Ryan Harris was in a group called, it wasn't Fall of For Now, it was Brand New Immortals. And he had a song, I don't know if you know the song Reasons Why. You'll be the reasons why. It was like rock. And I loved it, dude. And then I discovered John Mayer in like 2001, and then I realized that they were friends and they were working together. So that's kind of where my two primary influences as far as music goes. But my aunt and my parents were always like smooth jazz. They loved George Benson, and I think their wedding song is actually a George Benson song. And all the guys, Earl Klugh, Peter White, they're like huge like guitarist fans. And my aunt was a big musical theater. She loves opera, she loves classical music and stuff like that. So I've had sort of like different influences growing up. And then when I first started playing guitar in like 90 whatever, I don't know what year it was, Nirvana was like the biggest thing to me. Like Nirvana changed my life. So I thought I was going to be like a rocker like that until I started down there. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. So you like grunge?
I do.
Oh man, I'm guessing you pretty much know the chords for "It Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Oh yeah, dude, all four of them.
All four of them. That's how we all started. That is so cool, man. All right, and a few of the last icebreaker questions. Tell us a little bit about your family, your wife, and your kids.
Oh yeah, so I met my wife in 2003. I saw her first. I was playing on stage and she was in the audience, and I was like, "Who is that?" And luckily we had a mutual friend, so we met. I don't know if anyone here knows Sean Evaristo, an incredible dancer, choreographer. He's really an artist in and of himself. But he's a mutual friend. We got connected, started hanging out. This was before. It was Friendster. You probably never even had a Friendster account, did you?
No, I don't think Friendster was popular in Australia.
That's true. Completely different.
It was MySpace back in the day.
Yes. So we got to know each other on Friendster. We had a Zanga together, and then we connected over MySpace, and then we finally got married in 2013 because I ruined it a few times, and then we had our babies in 2015 and 2017, and that's our story.
And wow. And now you've had what, 2 kids?
Yes. So Savannah was born in 2015. She's our little girl, and Maverick was born in 2017. He's our little baby Tarzan.
That's wonderful. Tell us, what are your other hobbies besides music?
What I love to do? Oh man. I love tech. I love IT, problem solving. I think I never got around to it, but one of the things I'd always dreamed of doing is coding, because I like all the elements being combined there, the problem solving, the math, the making things work is one of the things I love to do. What else do I like to do? For a long time, and I had to stop because I had kids, I loved longboarding, not surfing. I wish I could surf. But
nice.
Like a long skateboard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Loved doing that. But I had to hang
you
those
had the
up.
gloves and everything, and
I had the gloves and everything, dude.
You had everything?
Yeah. I did. I loved it. I wasn't very good. I mean, I could go pretty fast, but I was always very cautious, like I was afraid if I'm pouring everything into these, I better keep them safe.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that. But I also love like the element of customization, whatever it is, whether it's guitar, you know, like longboards, changing the bushings
Mhm.
and the wheels and the
Yeah,
trucks and
bushing
the
wheels, yeah,
everything.
props, the deck.
Uh, yeah, dude. And customizing stuff. I loved building PCs before I started working with Macs and stuff like that.
Um,
I love tech, just everything, everything tech.
Dude, you're exactly like my older brother because my brother works as an IT security and
Oh,
he
really?
loves,
Oh,
yeah,
I love
he
it.
loves tech and he loves music too. That's really cool. And last icebreaker question: what nationality are you, and what is your favorite food from your nationality?
Oh man, I'm Filipino, and gosh, I gotta pick one. Uh,
Oh, hi, Jeremy.
oh, Jeremy's here. Hey, bro. He's asking me what my favorite Filipino food is. That's hard, dude. That's tough. If I have to just say, the first thing that came to mind is sinigang, but that's kind of like the
Ooh.
almost like the default answer because all sinigang is good. But like, what's the deep cut sort of like underground? Not underground, but I don't know if you know about afritada. Have you had that already?
Oh, afritada. Oh, yeah. My
Afritada.
mom makes
Oh
afritada all the
man,
time.
dude. I love tomatoes. Anything tomato sauce is just the
Mm,
best. So yeah, I think it's
no,
probably afritada. I'll pick that over
afritada.
if I had to. I would probably pick that over sinigang.
Good choice. Good choice. All right, now let's get into the main questions. Oh, man, now I feel like eating ube after watching all your ube stories too.
Dude, that those people, man, Ube area, not only are they incredible friends, but they're just such gifted. I mean, they're artists too. What they're doing, it's just
Oh,
crazy. Yeah.
awesome.
Sorry, went off on a
That's all
tangent
good.
there.
I know. Filler food. Okay, so question number one. How did music start for you?
How did music start for me? Well, my we've always I've always I feel like I've always sang uh around the house, but it was never anything super serious until high school. I was going from so where it I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but like when you're in a certain district, the middle school that you're in, you go to that high school, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the summer before high school, I moved to another area, another county, and so I had to go into a high school where I didn't know anybody. And one of the suggestions that my mom made was, "Hey, since you don't play any sports, why don't you join choir?" And I was like, "I don't want to join choir." But I mean, I listened and I joined, and that was the big, like, click for me because I was already playing guitar a little bit, you know, after hearing Nirvana and stuff like that. But I didn't sing, and so it didn't really become real until I started singing in choir, and I couldn't sing. I could hold a tune, but I wasn't really a singer per se. But just spending a lot of time um, in choir taught me how to be a singer, and the way that I sing today is not the way that I sang then. Before, if you like listen to my really old stuff, I sound almost like a classical singer trying to do pop. So it's
Huh.
kind of funny. Like I've changed and shifted over time. But the original start of really taking music seriously is joining choir in high school.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Was it like a big choir class and stuff like that?
It was. It was a big choir class. It was a class of like probably like 40 kids or something like that. It wasn't a huge one, but it was, you know, 10 person per part SATB.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, Next question. And when did you decide that you wanted to be a musician, and how did your career start?
When did I decide I wanted to be? I think I knew as soon as I heard No Such Thing for the first time in
Right.
2001 because all the songs that were coming out were um, uh, like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and
Mhm.
all those guys, and they're all tenors, and I was like a baritone, and my range wasn't even stretched. I was barely even a baritone, and John Mayer's voice was sort of in that range that I had that I could sing. And so as soon as I discovered his stuff and started being able to play his, I was like, I want to do this. Like maybe I can do this for I don't know if I could do it for a living, but I could certainly give it a shot and have some fun with it. And
Right.
that was the start, the very first thought of maybe I could do this. And then how I got my start was I was working with a number of folks in the Filipino community and here in the Bay Area, and they were just kind enough and risky enough and willing to give me a shot to play at these festivals. So I was playing all like during the summer and even beyond that, constantly trying to make it. I don't know what I was trying to do. Honestly, I was just trying to share my gift, I think, and I think that's what we still do to this day.
Yeah, right.
And doing a number of years of that, finally putting everything on YouTube made it so that every place that I had played, everyone was able to like kind of come into one spot. So that's kind of how I got to start, because YouTube was the big jump off point for me, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And speaking of YouTube, when did you? Well, how did you find out about YouTube, and why did you decide? Why did you decide to start using YouTube?
It's funny. In 2006, a friend of mine, Christina Luna, goes, "Hey, you should probably sign up for this YouTube thing. It might go somewhere. It might do something." And I was like, "All right, let's do it." Because there was, I mean, it was a very simple platform back then. There was no algorithms.
Hmm.
It was actually curated by people. Like people were on the other side of YouTube, like doing that.
Yeah,
So it was
before
very
Google
much
took over.
organic.
Yeah, before Google took YouTube over. Hey. Yeah.
Exactly. Before there was all the analytics and all those things. Um, that's where I got my start, was just posting music like that. And it was very much a combined effort of still kind of touring back then, playing festivals and getting my foot in the door wherever I could, but also and then
Hmm.
also trying to elevate this YouTube thing until eventually YouTube took over when it became what it is today.
That's great.
Yeah.
And since then, how has YouTube impacted your life, both personally and musically?
YouTube, man, I have a very special place in my heart for YouTube for more than for more than just because I'm a creator, but because as like I would like to think of myself as a perpetual student. Like I always want to learn a new thing, a trade. Um, like the dishwasher's broken. Hold on, let me try to find out how to fix it. I'm
Right.
challenged by that stuff, and YouTube is one of those platforms where you can quickly type in, how do you fix a dishwasher? How do I fix this keyboard? How do I make this? How do I learn how to play guitar? How do I this and that?
Mhm.
So I think that, and all the way to my kids now, it's like they're learning their ABCs and how to count, how to cook, and all these things on YouTube. So even beyond just a creator, I love YouTube as a resource, how to do anything and about anything. And then as a creative, putting your stuff on a stage. And how do you get I don't want to use the term get big, develop a fan base or whatever. How YouTube is just like, just put it out there, just put the music out there and let other people find it, because you're not gonna go anywhere tucking everything away, tucking everything into, in your bedroom or whatever.
Right.
And so it's just this open and free platform of, hey, this is what I do. Let me know if you like it, and if you don't, that's okay too.
Mm.
So I love it as a learning platform and a sharing platform, and it's pretty amazing. Like I could not do what I do today if it wasn't for what YouTube was and is.
Right. That is so cool. And since putting out your music on YouTube after all these years, were you expecting to be traveling the world and going to different places and your music impacting so many people, like millions of people around the world? Were you
No way.
expecting any of that?
That's incredible, man. Well, no, absolutely not. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I just knew I loved music, and I thought that if I just keep chasing it down, then maybe I'll be able to make enough for, I don't know, for gas money and stuff. And I didn't think that far ahead. There was no real plan B. There was no real plan A. All I knew was I love music and I love playing and I love singing. And so I'm just going to keep following wherever this goes. And I happen to be born at such a time that YouTube was coming up, and Twitter and Instagram and all these things. Like we live in a time where it's just so ripe with all this technology that can get your music out to places that you will probably maybe never even see in your whole life. And
Right.
I had no idea that it would be what it is today. But I never it never gets old to remember how blessed I am to be able to do what I do. Like I love what I do. Not a lot of people can say that.
That is so good, man. That's really encouraging. And speaking of encouragement, let's talk a little bit about your music journey and the music business, it has its challenges here and there. How have you kind of overcome those challenges, and how do you continue to still do what you do to this day, whether it would be on YouTube or doing this Instagram live? How do you continue to stay, encouraged doing what you do?
That's a good question, man. It's a question that I constantly am asking myself, and that answer changes on a regular basis based on what's going on in the world and how we're doing. But right now, if we're talking right now, I think this is the most critical time to stay connected, period, because it is important to stay home. It is important to what do they call, flatten the curve, because what this virus is doing is nasty. And so
Right.
the secondary to making sure everyone stays alive, the other thing as a creative is to stay connected and continue creating. And what I think is a really cool thought to remember too, what continues to help me get through it, is it's like, man, I can't tour, like all the things that a musician does, you can't really do. But then you remember, wait a minute, nobody can do anything right now. And there's kind of some
Yeah.
like peace in that, and that we're all trying to figure out how to get there and how to do it and how to, we're all starting from scratch at this point, most of us. And there's a peace in that you're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing to remember, is that we're not doing this by ourselves. It's not like you're stuck in a rut and everybody else is cruising and killing it and stuff. It's like, no, we're all figuring it out. And that's one of the ideas that I really cling to. And then on top of that, thinking about just the love of creating. We can, even though you can't go anywhere as a musician or as a creative, as an artist or whatever, you can still create. Like,
Right.
creativity hasn't been canceled, is what I kept seeing on social media. But it's very true. So
Right.
I'm clinging to the fact that, one, we're not alone. We're all starting from scratch. And so don't be discouraged, because we're all figuring it out together. And two, just continue creating uh, no matter how weird it gets and stressful and the what ifs start to creep in. It's just keep creating and connect and stay connected. That's a huge one too. Like this,
Yeah.
like this
Hmm.
makes me feel better. Hopefully it makes you feel better, and everybody in this
I feel
room,
great. I absolutely feel so much better doing this. I mean, especially as musicians, we're all in this together. Like you said, we're all in this together.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And with this whole stuff that continues to keep you encouraged, is there someone out there who helps you stay encouraged, or is there a certain Bible verse that you cling to, which helps you stay encouraged to do what you do to this day?
Absolutely, absolutely. Both of them. My family is what keeps me going. Like, I always say this: your desire to do something, your passion for something, the inspiration to do something can die out at times. That's not a steady thing to sustain yourself on. But what I'm constantly working on, and if you ask my wife, you'll know that I'm constantly working on it, is
Right.
discipline. Discipline is the biggest thing. Like, that's the only thing that can get you through ruts, and when stuff is crazy and when stuff stinks and you don't feel inspired. You don't always want to write a song. You don't always want to get up and do this or that, but it's the discipline that pushes you through. And what's behind that is my family. I got to make sure that the people that I love the most are taken care of. And so that's kind of where I go. And then as far as Bible verses, I actually pulled my Bible out so that I could read it. I love, and I've loved it for a long time, is Jeremiah 29:11,
Mm.
which I think is so powerful and inspiring, especially at a time like this. It says, I'm reading the New Living Translation, Jeremiah 29:11, 12, and 13. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and hope. In those days when you pray, I will listen. If you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. And I feel like that is the biggest thing, because there's nothing that, everything's fluctuating. Everything's changing. It's moving. Is it shelter in place? Is it not? Or is the curve down? Is it up? Like, you could go outside and who knows? But I know
Right.
the one thing that doesn't change is God. And if I cling
Right.
to him, then I'm clinging to the right thing. And so I just really believe that verse is something that I'm always looking to, that he's got a plan. There's a plan. It's like, when that's the big thing is
So
okay,
good.
what are we doing next? What happens next? This is going to be a problem. But God's got it. I just got to do my best, and then God will take care of the rest, as the saying goes.
Yeah, so good. Amen to that. That is
Amen,
so
bro.
good. And ain't that the truth, man? If anyone's watching this right now, if if you're feeling like things are uncertain, well, things really are uncertain, but there is one thing that doesn't change, and that's Jesus Christ himself. And isn't that the wonderful thing?
Amen.
Um, Man, and speaking of this whole coronavirus pandemic, this is something that everyone in the world is going through right now. No doubt about it. Every single person is affected some way, one or the other. How has this COVID-19 season affected your work, and what are you doing during this whole pandemic time to, well, think of creative ideas to keep doing music and stuff like that?
Totally, dude. There were a lot of shows that were lined up. There was an Asia tour. There was a lot of stuff lined up, and it all got canceled as soon as everything kind of as soon as the shelter in place kicked in. And so what I'm doing in the meantime is to just, as much as I can, write every little idea. I have a really bad habit of shooting down ideas before they even are able to become good ideas. Like, there's a part of me that I'm constantly working on, and I talk to Jeremy about this all the time. It's a part of me that that feels like something needs to be fully cooked the second that you think of it. And it's really, I think, if I really get down to what it is, it's fear. I think it's fear. It's that, oh, this idea isn't worth my time, so why am I wasting my time? Oh, this whatever, it's not happening fast enough, and so you could be creating something else. And so what I'm doing in the meantime is not shooting down any ideas and writing down every idea, as silly as I think it is, because that's where, as a songwriter, things happen. If you never write anything down, how do you ever write anything? So that's what I've been trying to do lately, is a lot of writing, sharing ideas. I've been helping out my church too, with worship and getting stuff like dialed in with music, and just entertaining my family. It's funny. So here's the thing. Last year we prayed as a family, like, God, 2019 was busy, dude. Like, between touring and music itself and
Yeah.
all the things it entails. I was also on staff at our church,
Oh, wow.
so it was very busy. And so my wife and I, we were praying. We were like, God, if you could just give us, 2020 will be the time of, like, family time. We'll get more time with our family. And it's like, now God was like, all right, here you go.
Wow.
It's beautiful, and it's fun, and it's a new challenge, but there's no one else that I would rather be stuck with than with my family, because you're not really stuck. You love them. You just work on ways to do different things and communicate. Your love for each other doesn't change. It's just sometimes the setting needs to change. Okay, let's go outside. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. Because the brain,
Right.
But to stay sane creatively, I've just been allowing myself to write, and on the family side, just having fun and just accepting the fact that, not accepting, but enjoying the fact that my kids are only going to be little for so long. At some point, they're going to be big, and they're going to be gone, and then I'm going to cry every day that I didn't spend time. So 2020, this is, in as much as it's a challenge, it's also a huge blessing.
That's fantastic, man. Wow. God really answered your prayer, huh?
Absolutely. Look at that. Jeremy said, well, you said.
Well, you said.
You asked for it, so then.
Well, you prayed for it. Well, we got 7 minutes left, and I have only like a few more questions to ask. Any encouragement you can give to people watching, whether it would be music or not, anything that's helped you through, and any music of yours that's coming out soon, any projects, any people you're collaborating with.
Totally.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Totally. I'll answer the second one first. So there's a Alone Together project coming out that is a number of artists that are so unbelievably talented, and it's just a whole collection of us. And then we got into small teams to write songs together. And I was on a couple of teams. One was with with Ruben and Rennie, incredible musicians, and the other was Melissa and Jeremy. And
Right.
dude, the songs that we wrote, it's it's not that I don't do co-writing. It's just I haven't ever, like I said, dude, I don't give it a chance because I'm like, why would they want to write with me? Like, why? I don't really have anything to offer. But during this time, it's like you gotta give it a shot, right? And
Right.
so this project came along, and so I have a couple of songs with a couple of teams there, and then there's the big come together single that sounds incredible. If you guys haven't heard it yet,
I heard a
but
snippet of that. It sounds huge.
dude, it was how many tracks? Jeremy told me how many tracks it was, but it was like this massive mix. But it sounds unbelievable. So many incredible artists on there. And then I have another single too that I wrote with John Splitoff back in January before all the stuff for all the stuff started falling apart. And it's funny because that song is very much about don't like you folks will look at time and be like, oh man, time's running out, there's not a lot of time left, this and that. But John and I were thinking, well, what if you flip that on his head and say, hey, but maybe time is on your side? Like, what if you manage it right, you time it right, you prioritize the right things, then time is never running out. You're actually just like really able to enjoy the time that you have instead of
Right.
constantly worrying about it disappearing. So there's a single coming out too. We're gonna get that too. I'm trying to get it to Jesse Barrera to see if he can work his magic on
Woo!
it, which will be really
At the
fun.
JD Cave.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there it is. See, 394 tracks in one
294
session.
tracks. Woo!
Crazy.
That's a lot of mixing. Oh, geez.
Unbelievable. And then so that was the first question. That's the music that's coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I also have I'm gonna try to do vlogs. Those are very challenging for me. I don't know why,
Right.
but I think ever since I've been doing the live stream thing, maybe vlogs can just be that, just like talking to the camera. So I'll work on that. Um, and then what can I say to anybody who's either starting? When I think of an encouragement, oftentimes it's for folks who are trying to figure things out and trying to build a following or anything like that. And I think the biggest thing is to allow yourself to, I don't want to use the word fail. Allow yourself to have a small beginning. That's what it is. Allow yourself to
Right.
have a small beginning, because it's easy to just be like, I put out this song and it only has this many views, so let me just delete it. And I used to be like that. Like if a YouTube video didn't get over X amount of views, I just delete it. Not
Right.
realizing that, well, what about those people? Like, people aren't numbers, people are people, and you never know who your music is touching. You never know who your music is reaching. And so my encouragement to anybody who's trying to start out in doing music is to put it out there. Just put it out there, because
Right.
the world is so big and social media is so vast that the people who need to find your music probably will find your music, and it'll change their life. And then as far as staying sane during COVID, get outside. I mean, social distance, obviously, but get some sun if it's in your backyard or whatever. Because being inside is what I've found challenges our little ones the most.
Mm-hmm.
If you have kids at home, you know this too, that constantly being between four walls is a challenge for them. So just to get outside for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes makes a world of difference, not just for a kid, but also for us adults, because we can live our lives like this. I really could live my life like this, but
Right.
that's not good for you. So it
Uh-huh.
really is a matter of remembering to get outside. That really helps to remember that, like I said, everyone, we're all in this together. We're all starting from scratch, and there's an encouragement in that there's peace in that. Nobody's better off than anyone else. And the last thing is stay hydrated, because it's easy to forget. So easy to forget about water. There it is, dude. Empo, hey girl.
Hello, Melissa. How are you? Well, dude, that's the questions that I had for today. I just want to say, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and I'm just here to let you know and encourage you too that your music has impacted pretty much almost everyone that I know in my lifetime.
Oh,
There has never been a high school debut or like a wedding or like a high school performance that I haven't played where it didn't include an MPG song. The amount of times I've had to play, Gentlemen Don't, Black Book, the amount of times that I had to play Lemonade, and the amount of times that I had to play, Meant to Be. The amount of times I had to play MPG songs is ridiculous. And, that's just a testament of how much your music has impacted us here back in where we are. And, even your concerts in Sydney have been so good. Like, they've been incredible.
thanks.
And, I just want to say, thank you again for what you do. Thank you for, the lives you guys have impacted. And before you leave, I actually want to give you a gift. You have, whoa. Oh, snap. Hang on a sec. Hang on. Is my camera turned? Oh, yeah. You have one of these, right?
I do.
Yeah, you have a HX Stomp. So I recently created a brand new website, and I've been making a whole bunch of it's pretty much to promote all my music services and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I visited it last night. It's robust. It's built out.
Yeah, thanks. I never want to make a website ever again, but I've been making a whole bunch of presets for Helix, HX Stomp, and Kemper, and I want to give you all my presets just as a gift. So
I'm honored, bro.
No worries, man. There's a John Mayer preset in here that I created too. So with your new Silver Sky, it'll be the best pairing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, thank you so much for taking the time and encouraging all of us. We are so blessed to be able to hear from you. And man, with 39 seconds left to go, absolutely smashed it.
Nailed it, bro. Thank you so much, man. Much love to you and everybody over there on the other side of the earth. I'm blessed to be able to chat with you and hang with you and even just know you, man. You're incredibly humble and talented and a man of God. And honestly, I'm really honored to be able to share this time and talk to you and hang with you and see what you're doing, because it's really good, bro. It's really good, honestly.
Thank you so much, bro. Yeah. Man, until we meet again in person sometime soon.
Absolutely, dude.
It's gonna be awesome. Oh, there goes the timer.
Love it.
Oh, no, he didn't sing. Jeremy, he didn't sing yet. But if you have time, would you like to sing us a song?
Sure, I do.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
Come on. I don't know if it sings in tune. I tried. This is the first guitar I was given this by my uncle, and he said that it's a classical guitar, and he found it in the trash. So he saw somebody throw it in a dumpster, and then he went in after it, and it just lived at his house for like ever.
Is that the Black Book guitar?
This is the Black Book guitar.
Oh my goodness gracious! Here we go.
Maybe I'll play that. I'll play that.
Yeah, play Black Book. Let's do that on that guitar. Let's go. Take it back to 2012.
What is this?
2012. Let's go.
This neck is huge. I had a small black book, but I threw it away when he told me your name. I had to keep you, babe. I'll call quits on all the mother chicks. You've got me wondering, maybe there's more to this. This is the first one that I've ever felt. Whatever feeling I'm feeling now, I gotta know if we can make this happen, baby, cause you got me. I wanna make this real. Somehow you make me feel like you're the only girl in the world. I gotta make you see how beautiful it'd be if you can make this happy, baby. I'll be Prince Charming if you be my darling, oh yeah. Would you be my only, if you be my only girl. Oh, my only girl. Hey. You're so fine, but again find you divine, I gotta make it mine. I lose sleep, but I'm dreaming constantly. You got me daydreaming consciously. Honestly, I believe that nothing's different than I've ever found. Whatever feeling I feel it now. I wanna know if we can make this happy, baby, 'cause you got me. I wanna make this real. So how you make me feel like you're the only girl in the world. I gotta make you see how beautiful it'd be if you can make this happy, baby. I'll be Prince Charming if you be my darling. Oh yeah, you be my only. If you'll be my only girl. This ain't a drill, I can't keep still. My love is real. Now all of the time I spent without you, sugar, now that ends here. If you let that end here, wanna know, really gotta know if we can make this happy, baby, 'cause you got me. I wanna make this real, so now you make me feel you're the only girl in the world. Gotta make you see how beautiful it'd be if we can make this happen, baby. I'll be Prince Charming if you be my darling. Oh yeah, you be my only. If you be my only girl.
Woo! Let's go! Well, dude, seriously, thank you so much again for your time. Thank you for extending and doing Black Guitarist. Yeah, seriously, can't thank you enough. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm pretty sure that everyone who watched this is so grateful that you were able to share your time and your wisdom and encouragement to us. So seriously, dude, thank you so much, and tell the family, said hi and much love, and yeah.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was wonderful talking to you, bro. I'll catch you soon. Let's get on a Zoom or something and chat and hang.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's do it.
You gotta teach me about them presets, bro. Like, you have some beautiful stuff on there.
Seriously, man. You're gonna enjoy it. Okay. Especially with your new Silver Sky. Is your Silver Sky there?
It is. This one?
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Show it off. Woo! Oh. Oh Lord.
It's a beauty, man.
So it is so pretty. All right, dude. Have a good night. And
yes, it's a night. And you enjoy the rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
All
right, dude.
Appreciate you. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for coming through. I'll see ya.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this rendition of Quality Quarantine. It's going to be happening more while this whole pandemic is going on. So stay tuned for whoever the next guest is going to come on this Instagram Live. So, yeah. Thank you all for coming and watching. I'm Jemmy Gems, and peace out.